So this is Dan Gladden. Dan is acting creative director for Pearlfisher London. He's come over from New York recently. He's what I would say is a great example of a challenger. He is a great creative thinker. Been with us now for about 4 years in London, and then we sent him over to New York to up his game, which he's done fantastically, and now he's come back as acting creative director and doing a great job here as well.
Thank you. This is Jonathan Ford. He is the one of the founding partners of Pearlfisher, lead creative in everything Pearlfisher, and the one who's responsible for this haircut.
I didn't actually cut his hair. So the way that we run Pearlfisher currently, and you have to remember that this time last year we were just 2 studios and now we're 4, I suppose is in a phase of a little bit of transition in terms of management and experience and how to get the best out of everyone. But we are, and there are different ages of development. London, 25 years, Copenhagen, 8 months. So you have to recognize yourself like a brand, for example, that may have been in America for 20 years and then in Brazil for 1 year. You get different perceptions and you need to be supported in different ways. The 3 partners are very active across all 4 businesses, but we are putting in place teams which are there to grow and that are empowered to have full autonomy over that particular studio. So Dan would feel, I hope, that he has full autonomy over creative direction here with influences from myself, but I certainly don't tell Dan what to do. And that management style is very much the way that I think the 3 partners like to keep it, which is empower people, let people grow, recognise that talent, the best talent comes from within, identify those people that are the stars of the future, and let them grow as long as they want to within the Pearlfisher studios. And the last thing is cross-fertilise. We're sharing projects, we're sharing talent, we're sharing kind of intellectual property, and our the whole Pearlfisher brand is shared equally across all 4 studios, which is a tremendous advantage when you're starting up in a country where you may just be 2 or 3 people, to have the full weight of the Pearlfisher brand behind you.
There's a good diverse range of clients, and I think we've always had ourselves very open to that here at Pearlfisher, through challengers and icons. We work with very small kind of challenger brands to the iconic brands of Cadbury, for example, and the challengers within that. And I think personally, and I know from the wider team, it's like how you take approaching design from a challenger and an iconic perspective, and you can flip it around. So putting an iconic approach into a challenger brand, and then an iconic brand that then needs a bit of a challenger approach brought to it. So skipping around the question a little bit, but I think we also help implement quite a diverse range of clients across those studios. And I think having Pearlfisher presence now in Copenhagen, for example, not only opens us up to maybe new shifts in food, health, lifestyle, whatever that might be happening on a smaller scale over there, gives us now a very solid foundation from a brand perspective to help lead the way in that.
The Futures team is there to really study the big shifts that are taking place and to disseminate that information into meaningful chunks of actionable insight that we can work with, and that also is interesting for our clients to set their brands against that changing landscape. The world's always changing, so how does your brand fit in that context? So Futures is all about really kind of understanding how desire is changing, and there's a team that does that. Then the strategic teams are all about focusing that information in alignment with the diverse range of client briefs that we get. We just talked about diversity. So how do you build desire for brand in a digital scape? How do you build desire for brand in a lifestyle world? How do you build desire for brand in a physical shape? All these things, there's lots of different ways of looking at it. So our strategic teams are looking at broad-ranging brand architecture projects to design strategy projects and everything in between. And ultimately creates the design brief in conjunction with senior creatives And then we move into obviously the team on which we're founded on, which is the design team, which are there having had the big cultural backdrop, the strategic focus, are now designing on effectively a creative laser beam. And that's why I think when you look at the work we do in the world of brands, you see quite significant and challenging ideas come through in our work for the types of brands that we engage with. Because we've painted that backdrop, we've found the kind of the pathway through it, and then we've created a great idea against it. So that definitive partnership is futures working in conjunction with strategy, in conjunction with design. And in reality, those three teams exist here in London. They exist across all four of our studios in different shapes and forms. And when you engage with Pearlfisher, if you're a client working with us in, say, India, with London, the chances are you might be engaging with some talent from New York or San Francisco if the project requires it. So that's how it all comes together. But like every brand, you have to sort of paint the sign above your door and sort of say what goes on inside the house. And most importantly, it's a really terrific sense of partnership amongst all of us. We are a partnership in structure, but I think you'll find that designers see no divide between themselves and the strategist and the account team and the future team. Everyone works together in a very, very highly collaborative kind of way.